state-sponsored Islamophobia, or the FBI trying to prevent kids from being recruited by extremist organizations. The FBI is under fire because they have a new program. This is a game-like website that they try to implement in schools around the country, where they were trying to teach the kids to be vigilant about those communications online that might be done to recruit them into an extremist organization. Nick, all sounds really good. The problem is that critics said that it was targeted to the Muslim communities. And most of the time, the extremists were Muslims or related to the Islam religion, without taking into account the homegrown terrorist or other types of extremism that could happen in the country. Now, we have the representative Benny Thompson from Mississippi, a Democrat, the top Democrat in the House Homeland Security Committee, raising a question that has little to do with the racial aspect of the controversy, but another one that is very important as well. Why in the hell the FBI, that is a law enforcement organization, is trying to do education at schools, trying to set up programs that gather intelligence from teachers and students on terrorism, when that's something that should belong to the Department of Education, not to the FBI trying to indoctrinate students and teachers into becoming informants of a law enforcement agency.
So how are they doing it? What's the format here?
The format is you go to this website. This website is called Don't Be a Puppet. It's not live because it's suspended. Oh, okay. There was some testers that went in, and you go in and there's a puppet that has strings connected. And as you answer questions showing that you know how to run away from extremism, the puppet gets their strings cut. At the end, you free the puppet, and you're not a puppet of extremism anymore.
Oh, kind of like when... Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
So one of the questions that people was like, what is this, is if you see a kid of Muslim descent, and they talk about taking a trip for a mission, you should say something.
Okay.
So it was clearly that every time that they were trying to signal the possibility of extremism, it was tied into the Muslim culture. Obviously, they said this is completely wrong. This is just going to target, not only target, this is going to racially profile with a whole generation of kids, the Muslim populations, and that's not the way to go. And again, we see that Islam is being targeted as the only possible source of terrorism in this country.
Which I think is wrong, right? Because you're teaching children not only how to avoid being recruited, but that also all Muslims are terrorists in a way because they're young and they're just going to associate the two. But let's be honest, Jose. I mean, if we're talking about extremists, we're at a war. We're in a war with terrorism right now, and that's a huge problem. So many people are being recruited from the West. Now, I understand that there are other extremists out there. I think half of the Republicans running for presidency are extremists, extreme Christians. But at the same time, they're not trying to recruit people, and they're not blowing things up. And I think ISIS is doing that, and that's a problem because they're actively recruiting and they're trying extremely hard. Now, yeah, you have your psychos out there that will go up and shoot up a black church because they're out of their frickin' minds. I think we should be fighting gun control. That's different. The country can't unify on that issue, so I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. But I totally understand why they're targeting Muslims specifically in this game. Now, I don't think it's right to target Muslims or anybody for that reason. Yeah. But I get what they're doing. I get what they're getting at.
My opinion is that it's a little bit reductionist to push forward this idea that the only source of real danger is Muslim or Islam-related populations. I think that is wrong. It's sending the wrong message because we've seen that other types of extremism, like you say, they should be mentioned and they should be included in these programs. Again, that's the main concern of the Democratic member of this committee is why is the FBI has no experience implementing education doing so. And it's exactly because of those oversights, if you will, in the putting together of this program. Because if you refer this to the education department of someone with knowledge, they will assess and include every type of extremism possible. Not only like, you know what, right now the main priority is Muslim or jihadist related extremism, so let's focus on that, even though we might be racially profiling some of the lawful citizens of this country.
Right, and we actually do that all the time. The little kid, Ahmed, who got arrested for building the clock, but that is a very specific incident. Now, you know, the problem is, what does terrorism mean in the USA? It means terrorizing people, but it also means in the name of Allah. That's not in the rule book but it's true. You shoot up a school, you're a psycho white kid who needs to be put in a loony house.
Even if you're a Christian, even if
Right.
you're shooting and there's proof that your shooting was racially profiled or it
Right.
was inspired by your personal beliefs,
You're a psycho.
You're a psycho.
You're a psycho. But if
you're
you
Muslim,
do it
you're a
screaming
terrorist.
Allahu Akbar, you're a terrorist and you need
Double
to go
standard.
to
We've been talking about it, how it's very easy for the authorities to make this definition of terrorism a movable post that you can easily accommodate to your benefit. So we want to know your thoughts. Do you think it's okay for the FBI to go into schools and implement these programs that might racially profile a part of the population? Let us know your thoughts below in the comment section. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the Lib TV 2.